get a
Yeah,
shot of him.
it's absolutely dumping the snow right now.
Great.
Go him. I would say don't do that, except the parking lot is absolutely.
Look what she slid at.
Amy, what are you doing? She almost busted it. Amy, go get him. What do you think? Go get him. Yeah. There is a mountain usually right there, a whole mountain range. And she gone. She gone. Ooh, what is up, everybody? That's right, I just showed you what's currently going on outside at Dreamcatcher's Fishing Supply. It is dumping the snow. It has been dumping the snow. We've had like 7 or 8 inches, which is a lot for the mountains of Western North Carolina. But I'm hanging out in the shop today. I want to talk about one of my favorite baits, if not my favorite bait, period. And that is the DRT Klash 9. This one, beautiful booger right here. That's right, this is the Spectre color. And then this is Dustin's actually, aka Swim Bait Everything. But man, beautiful color. I actually think it looks a lot like a blueback herring. I would throw this bait in when it was cloudy because it has that bone. But anyways, I'm going to talk about how I fish this bait and really the modes. And listen, I'm not one of these guys with the DRT that's like, oh, mode this, mode that. I'm just going to show you, I fish the bait really in 2 standard ways. One is with the bill in and the tail. Well, I'm gonna go through all of them. That's not actually true. I fish it 2 ways most of the time, but I do fish it other ways too. But I fish it with the bill in and the tail. You can see the tail right here is angled back up, and then the other way is bill out, tail flipped down. So I don't know how many of you guys know much about airplanes, but a plane actually takes off based on what's called the elevator. If you've ever watched the movie Flight with Denzel Washington, the elevator is the thing that broke that put the plane into a downward spiral. But with a DRT bait, the tail acts as an elevator. When the tail is up, it wants to force the nose up, and when the tail is down, how water hits it, it wants to force the nose down. So when I'm cranking, I get the most action out of cranking with my tail up, and what it's doing, ow, that is an extremely sharp hook. What it's doing is as that tail's up, the water's hitting that, wanting that bait to rise, except that bill's making it dig. So that offsetting pressure of water making the nose up, and at the same time, the bill diving gets crazy, that crazy wobble cranking action. I mean, it's like this, and it is unbelievable. Here's a fish catch, a 7 and change pounder, with it in crank down mode right here.
I mean, does life even get much better with that than that? Got him, dude. It's a giant. It's a giant, dude. It's a giant. It's like a giant net. Stay down. God, it's a freaking giant, dude. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! On the Klash 9, it's a freaking giant. Holy cow! Give me some love, dude. Give me some love. Saying 7.3-ish. Right there, 7 pounds 3 ounces. Big old fat girl. She ate the Klash 9. Oh man, what a fish. She absolutely destroyed the Klash 9 on some offshore structure, working it like a square bill. Wow, what a fat fish. Amazing. Look at that. Oh, what a toad.
So it's an absolute powerful way to get bit. Big bass like that action. I tell people like this, I treat it like it's a big square bill, an 8 to really 12-foot diver. I can take my rod tip and put it way down in the water and achieve more depth with it and treat it like a big crankbait. So that's one way, is with the tail up and the bill down. Now here's the deal. I will throw it with the bill in and tail down. And what I do with this, I call it dead walking. So, and that's I think what is kind of coined. I've seen other guys say it, but right, the tail is going to force that nose down because water's hitting that thing and wanting to put that nose down, and then that bill is also diving. With this, because they're both wanting to achieve depth, they're not fighting against each other, it has less action as far as that rocking action. But what is really unique is you can take it and snap it like a jerk bait, and it acts as a giant jerk bait and will absolutely get hammered. So I actually like to keep the bill in and the tail down, like the elevator facing down, to get that hard kind of almost like a mega bass Vision 110 action, except I'm throwing it, you know, I'm trying to obviously catch bigger bass. The other way I really like to throw it is I go from here, you just take the bill and roll it out like that, and that is just your standard glide mode. So what's unique about this, now you don't have a bill, anything to catch water and throw that head side to side, but you have that tail that faces down, right? So it wants to achieve depth. So check this out. This natural arc, when it's sitting in the water, this side is all filled with foam. So as it's sitting in the water, it's sitting like this. Well, when you start to work it like a walking bait is really how I fish it in this way. So I'll start to walk it, and that bait will this arc of the back will make it dive, as well as this tail facing down will make it achieve depth. So as I'm walking it, it's actually going to achieve depth and get that crazy walk side to side. I can get this bait down to as deep, just like this, 4.5, 5 foot of water. And what it is, honestly, is a giant subsurface walking bait. You want to talk about catching giant bass and lots of fish. Naturally, you think about baits that cut side to side. You think about like a Lucky Craft Sammy, a Mega Bass Vision 110. Any bait that has crazy speed side to side is what gets bit because it triggers a reaction strike. So that mode right there, bill out, that natural head facing down is going to make it achieve depth. Also, that tail is going to make it achieve depth.
You're dropping me off. I'm walking up there.
Oh, yeah. How you gonna get back to the boat?
Swim? You see that? Dang, 6-pounder.
And just like that is walking. Those are really the 3 ways that I throw it. There's other bills and there's other tails. I think a lot of guys can get, you know, soup, and don't get me wrong, I promise you there's probably a time and place for all of them. I'm just telling you, this is how I have success. This year, I mean, I caught probably north of 150 fish on a Klash 9, you know, and once again, I'm on the water all the time. But, you know, I had multiple days where it was 8, 9, 10. I think one day we caught as many as 12 fish. And I had days where I only would catch 1 or 2 fish, but they'd be big ones. But anyways, those are the ways that I like to fish it. Bill in, tail faced up. Bill in, tail face down to jerkbait. Bill out, tail facing down to have that walk. Those are all great ways to fish this bait, and I've caught fish doing it on all of them. So anyways, that's the deal. I'm really excited about getting more in stock. Stay tuned. And then we also have some big news with us and DRT, so stay tuned for that as well. But that is how I fish the bait, and absolutely big bass catcher, the most versatile swim bait ever. Really, I tell people this. You know, usually you have to buy a $150 swim bait to get this action, or a $120 bait to get that action, or a $300 bait to get this action. Well, here you go. You got so many actions in one bait. Versatility, well worth the money. One of the best baits ever produced. Just the, you know, attention to detail with this bait is off the chain, and not to mention just the innovation. So anyways, love the DRT Klash 9. Stay tuned. You can find them at dreamcatchersfishing.com. Thanks for watching.